and welcome back to Mariana Mas Books. My name is Mariana and today I am here with a goals video for 2024. It's been months since I last filmed. I'm not going to go into a whole tangent into why I hadn't been filming live. That's the short answer. Real life. It rudely interrupted my internet life, but I am back and hopefully back every week to share with you the books I am reading and the cards I am reading. Today I am going to share with you my reading projects and channel projects for 2024, including my reading for Booktube and for TarotTube, meaning books and cards. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into my goals because I don't want to keep on rambling and make a super long intro. I just want to get back in the groove of things. So let's just start with my bookish goals. So the first of my goals is related to a local readathon that goes on here in Mexico. It's called Guadalupe Reinas and it has 10 prompts and it happens during the month of December, from December 12th all the way to Epiphany in the beginning of January. This is a yearly event that gives out 10 prompts to read throughout that time period. The time period responds to a specific cultural thing that I won't go into explaining, but it's a very clever name and very clever concept. But the idea is to read more women, or read women, and you are supposed to read between 12th of December and Epiphany in January. I, of course, didn't finish all 10 books. Throughout that time, I finished one book, which was Shards of Honor by Lois McMaster Bujold, but I want to read the other books on my list. So what I decided to do is that I'm going to make that a yearly thing. So I have 9 more prompts to go throughout the year. My idea is that by the time that the 10 prompts are announced for December of this year, I will have finished reading all 9 books for December of last year. That was a really fun project because my sisters, my mom and I, we were all participating. We had a group chat and we shared our TBRs, our reading progress and all that. So it was very fun to participate and I want to participate again next year. But I want to, throughout the year, read all the books for that readathon. I was going to tell you book per book about all these plans, but you know what? I don't want to edit in pictures or a lot of pictures, so I'm not going to tell you every single book that I'm going to read, but they are very good, so I will be telling you about that if I manage to keep up with that resolution. The next one is to continue body reading. As you know, because I talk about it all the time, I body read The Realm of the Elderlings with Elle from Elle Things. This is not the only series we have body read. Elle was telling me she did the count and we have read 22 books together, and this year we plan on continuing with our body reads. So December we finished The Realm of the Elderlings. We finished with Assassin's Fate, which is the 16th and last book in the series, but in January we restarted the series. So we don't have plans to read again all 16 books, but we are going to reread the first trilogy. So from January to March we will be rereading that, and then we will be rereading other stuff, some fantasy, maybe some classics, but that is definitely one of the things that I'm going to continue in 2024. Then of course we have Historathon. This year I won't participate as a co-host, but I will be participating in Historathon. The reason why I'm not a co-host is because I want to be reading history in general, but not necessarily stick to the time periods, mainly because one of my main reading themes that I want to do is the a certain period in Mexican history, which corresponds to the third quarter of Historathon, and I have tons of books that I'm excited to read for that. And if I just stick to the quarter, I wouldn't read a lot of what I want to read. So I'm going to keep participating in that, and I will be sharing some videos about it, but I just won't be doing in as a co-host. Then I want to be reading more tarot books. Last year I don't think I read any tarot book, and I would like to because there are many that I have on my TBR. So I want to make progress with those books that I want to read, because I do have some tarot projects, as you will see, to keep learning some techniques that I want to improve on upon. I am, of course, going to be participating in readathons, reading events in Booktube. I always do it. Do that is one of my favorite things of Booktube. You know, the usual Nonfiction November. I do want to participate in Victober this year, middle grade March. I don't know if Ancientsathon is going to continue this year, but I do want to keep the tradition. So in Ancientsathon month, I do have a TBR for that month, because I already had an idea of what I wanted to read for that year. That is one of my favorite reading events every year, and it has been very influential in my life, and I do want to continue reading for that. There is also going to be a readathon organized by Christy at Dostoevsky in Space and Beautiful Minushai, and they are organizing a readathon called We Love Jenny. So I am definitely going to participate on that. I also want to reread more books. I am not a big or I wasn't a big rereader, or I'm not. It's not the majority of what I read. But ever since I joined Booktube, I have been rereading some things. So I reread The Lord of the Rings, which I body read with Elle. I have reread Amber and Clay, which I body read with Cara. I reread The Remains of the Day, which was an amazing, amazing reread, and now one of my favorite books. I am currently rereading the First Year trilogy, so I do want to keep rereading. This year I have a list of several books I want to reread, but just to name a few, one of them is 100 Years of Solitude, mainly because there is I have been wanting to reread it for a while, but this year there's a series coming out in Netflix based on 100 Years of Solitude, so I want to reread it. It's an adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude, which I honestly don't think it can be done. So I want to reread the book before I watch the show, which I remain skeptic about, but I will see. There are also some other books that I would like to reread, but as I said, I don't want to be editing in a lot of pictures. So I'm not going to go through the full list, but I have several. And finally, just continue reading fantasy. I have been loving rediscovering fantasy. I have always been a big fantasy lover, but I feel like there was a period where I wasn't reading a lot of fantasy, and I'm glad that I have come back. I want to focus on reading fantasy by women. That will be my focus. But I have some exceptions like guy Gabriel K, who I was going to read last year, and I now this year I definitely want to read him. So those are for reading, but for my channel I have some bookish goals. For my channel, in terms of books, I don't foresee a lot of things changing. I am going to continue filming the way I do. A lot of TBRs, some wrap ups, some tags. Maybe I kind of want to be doing a little bit more stuff with friends. I have something planned with Elle. I have something planned with Cara from Wild Book Garden. I want to be doing more of that. And I guess the one thing would be consistency. Uh, I want to be more consistent with my uploads. My plan is to be uploading every Sunday for Booktube, and not necessarily every Tuesday, but on Tuesdays for TarotTube. I had this idea at the beginning where I was going to call it TarotTube Tuesday, and whenever I had tarot content uploaded on Tuesday, and then I just started doing whatever. So I want to go back to that idea. So speaking about books and TarotTube, I do want to be making more Booktube meets TarotTube content. So I have a few video ideas like how my taste in books mirrors in my taste in decks, if tarot decks can have different narrative voices. I did a tarot reading for Elle, one of my booktube friends, in which we did like a bookish year forecast, and I want to do a video about that for myself for my forecast. So I did a reading for Fitz from the Rainbow Elderlings. So I want to be doing more Booktube meets TarotTube content, and that is a nice segue to veer into TarotTube. So other than the Booktube meets TarotTube and the uploads on Tuesdays, again, I don't think every Tuesday, but on Tuesdays whenever I have tarot content, um, I do have a lot of ideas that I want to be doing, and though I love doing tags, I think this year I kind of want to focus on doing reading videos, like actually reading cards. So I have several ideas for that. So that is for my channel in terms of tarot too. But in terms of just tarot, like my actual practice, this year I want to do a Marseille style, Marseille tradition, Italian peeps year. Last year I fell in love with Marseille style, etc., 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 and historic tarots, and I just want to continue exploring that and diving deeper into it, learning more, perfectioning my technique. So I will be reading some books for that, but also I am only going to be using those decks from my collection at least for the first 6 months, because I feel like limiting myself. I have been very excited, like it was kind of freeing to say, oh, I'm only going to be using those, so I don't have to be thinking, I have so many decks, what I'm going to use. But at the same time, maybe sometime I will want to pick up another deck. So I did give myself 5 exceptions, and those 5 exceptions will be for the first half of the year. So my idea is that once half of the year has passed, I will renew this goal to see if I want to continue doing only Marseille, which hopefully I will, and see if I want to change some decks from my exceptions, or I want to continue with those 5. Which probably I will want to change because the changing seasons, maybe I'll be in a different mood. And kind of related to Marseille, etc., peeps, I do want to be delving more into cartomancy and cartomancy style reading. So I want to learn playing cards and I want to learn Lenormand. I don't know if that's too much to accomplish in 1 year, but you know, it's in my radar. It's in my radar. So I think I'm going to start with playing cards just because there is a class that I have in mind. But I do want to also keep Lenormand in mind. So those are the goals. Oh, just one final thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I had a Mary project in December, which I was going to do all throughout December. LOL. Consistency and me are not friends. I am not a very consistent person. Like I want to be. That is my lifetime wish is I was more consistent, but I'm not. I try to be. I'm going to try to be this year. So I did that project for like 3 days and then I didn't. So why? But I don't want to continue with it because it was very interesting. Very, I don't know. It's one of those things that feeds your brain as well as like I don't know, it's cool, it was cool. So I want to continue with that project. So I won't promise like, oh, 2 posts every month or 4 posts every month, or I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say whenever I feel like it throughout the year, I still want to continue exploring my relationship with Mary, reading my book I have about Mary, other books I have in my collection, a movie I kind of want to rewatch. But again, that's like, I would like to. I can't promise that I will, but when I do have stuff to share, I will share. So now those are my goals. Those are my bookish goals, tarot goals, booktube goals, tarotube goals for 2024. I was dying to do this video because I also want to do some end of the year like favorites, book favorites, tarot favorites videos. Maybe I'll just do a quick book and a quick tarot video. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that because I just want to get this done already. So I hope you're having a good start of the year. I hope you will be seeing me on Sundays and some Tuesdays more consistently. Please leave me in the comments, you know, whatever. That will be it for the moment. I will see you soonish in another bookish, tarot-ish video. In the meantime, I wish you happy reading.